Notice or forget the spell of long distance cast by this alphabet. Layers deep, alpha, aleph. The letter looked like an ox. Aleph meant ox, large animal. Aleph maybe became elephant. Bet, beta, Bethel, little house, as in Bethlehem. So in this thing kingdom of synchronized nonsense, we summon our breath with written elements named for an elephant stuck in a room, or at least a large animal stuck in a small space.
Print of culture material, the and racialization, clotel, paper of reams, and ink of bottles, said Giant Jonathan. Another 1-2 relation embodies reading of possibility, the implying by dualism, racial, white, black, naturalized, further legibility, print, underwriting, dualism, white, black, the coded racially, where paper, white, and ink, black, where period, antebellum, the ink. Letters are expected from providing seeing to reference material.
What is red in this river of whispers cannot be said. Only swim through what gets fed in the shivering list of skins. It gets fed to the river and ran through, ran through, ran through, ran through.
My grandma stood silent by her second husband in court as he pled guilty to molesting my mother, age 9. My grandma is going blind. From the center of her vision, it's spreading outward. Her eyes have grown tired after miles of beach reading. Raised cover romance novels, science fiction, and scanning ocean shorelines for seashells. Miles and miles of beach reading.
Whether words mean to measure the passage of time.
Pelagic, of, relating to, or living in the open oceans, rather than waters adjacent to land or inland waters. Pelagic is down.
Beneath the surface of Michigan's lake, I swim away unseasonable winter's warmth with archipelagic limbs. I listen for spirit beneath the cold and think I cannot hear it, though after some waiting a shiver begins ghostly through my jawbone. Underwater,
We
humans hear mostly through the jawbone. I sing my chatter teeth thanks to the river, the river, the river, the river, the river, the river.
In light of concrete banks, enslaved as it is and clogged of clarity in spite of flow reversal.
The river, the river, the river, yes, despite such tasks of masculinity. I turn and face the mask of Chicago, named, some say, for a stinking wild onion.
This home,
I cannot unstrangle Victoria here, demolest mother, retangle river, disinvade this home, this home. I scrape thin the screaming skin of this city, aim for good grief instead of self-pity, and walk to join the ranks of travelers. On the train home, dripping dung struck, I fold my mind into a book's brief and fragile hinge, binding my eyes in alphabetic tracks. I read that a dolphin's eardrum is just a vestige of terrestrial ancestors. Underwater, dolphins hear mostly through the jawbone. After 5 million years in the sea, the kept ear canal collects wax and barnacles whose gathered mass reveals the age of each slippery body. What a strange inheritance. Ancient organ, useless now, accumulating crust. Reading words on every surface here. Could dolphins tell how old I am by measuring the amount of advertisements stuck inside my ears? What a strange spell these whole rows and rows of vestigial bodies understand, under reading liquid crystals in pixelated stacks, headphones corking words unspilt, need and guilt, pride, loose change, rattling alphabetic backs. And yet what a journey. I imagine my grandma, wandering doll of her body, getting dressed up to take the train.
Every time something supposedly important is about to happen, births, graduations, landmarks in the lives of grandchildren, my grandmother's gut rises up in protest, casting her to a bedridden state of perpetual vomiting. As a child, I developed an insane phobia of death, and likewise a phobia of vomiting. Memory goes both ways. Memory is not inherently gentle.
Ecological literacy.
1. Colony collapse.
When I worked in the field of ecological restoration, much mention was made of invasive and native species. To restore degraded environments to their former wealth of flora and fauna, invasive species of plants are eliminated and native species cultivated. Am I, white-bodied man, the eco-friendly hero, dressed in science fiction, wiping out invaders with bright blue poison? The privilege written on this my skin was wrenched from the land and its native inhabitants by those I can only call invaders. The wealth chewed up, spat out, and poured into molds of sprawling suburbs, serpentine feeding galleries for plastic puppets, rivers of defossilized car farts, daily commutes of long-winded silence.
2. Shared roots.
Cultivate. Agriculture. Culture. Colony. Colonize. Colonial. Latin. Colere. Inhabit. Frequent. Practice. Tend. Respect.
3. Monoculture. We.
There is a thick slime covering this my mother tongue, this language lodged like rotting wisdom teeth inside my mouth, speaking for states of us, of we, states united by a thick slime America, drying to forgottenness crust, becoming cardboard, endlessly replaceable, stories scattered, monoculture we, all origins giving way to ash. Ash.
For reading whiteness all over.
Is it just natural? Is it just death? In a blank white sheet, I read southern cotton plantations, recycled rags in paper production, now replaced by the pulp of trees. I read whiteness in endless pathways of invasive larval chewing beneath the bark of ash trees, standing straight starved or tossed in forgotten as piles, never transformed to anything but their name ash. Europeans use the straight grain of ash wood to render all kinds of handles, hammers, hoes, hatchets, but the English word ash and Latin name fraxinus both translate to spear. Weaponry is remembered. The natives of this region pound ash with a mallet. The weak winter pith of each growth ring breaks down. Strong fibers separate into long, thin strips and are woven into baskets.
Get up.
Let me not lust for what is native, nor let invaders slide invisibly along white straight lines to expected destinations. Let this